Hey, what's up guys, Chapter here with a new update video about my 2022 progress. Before we get started, I'd like to talk to you about a few changes that I've made to my list. I realized that I went a little bit over the top with my goals and it was kind of stressing me out to think about because I feel like the only way to achieve them would be to rush things, which is obviously the opposite of what I want to do. I want to play and bring quality games and content to the channel, and I would feel more comfortable by simply cutting down some more of the challenges that I set myself. Here are some of the changes that I've made. Instead of going for a 600k Gamerscore, I will now go for 550, which would still give me over 100k this year, which has been my primary goal for the past 2 years. I will also make the change from 50 to 40 Xbox 360 games completed, simply because I feel like 50 is too much and I'd rather not play 360 games all year so I can keep working on the harder games on the other console. In the last video, I also talked about deciding whether or not I would count Elden Ring as a Dark Souls completion, and after playing the game for 30 hours, I feel confident that it would bring me the same satisfaction as an actual Dark Souls completion. I hope you guys understand that I made these changes to have more time to work on this channel because I have big things coming and I'm so excited to share with you those ideas. Alright, enough chit chat, let's get into the video. This game is something I started playing on release but didn't finish the list because of so many great games coming out all at once. It was super fun and easy to get back into, and I love spending my weekend working on the achievements, which actually felt like a completionist list. It was super chill too and brought me back to the Stardew days when I was farming vegetables to make money so I could buy gear and some weapons to complete dungeons. The game had its flaws, like how much walking was required to get from one place to another or how basic the combat was, but other than that, I thought the story was well written, and for an indie game, it looked pretty good. If they ever release some kind of DLC with achievements, they can definitely count me in. Contrast is a game I started playing for the 12 Days of Christmas challenge on True Achievements, and I was planning on getting back to it this year because of how much fun I thought the game was. The art of the game gave me some Alice Madness Returns vibe, which is one of my favorite games, so you can understand why I was drawn by it. I knew going in that Contrast was a fairly simple game, but I really enjoyed the story behind it and the way that some of the puzzle worked. The achievements were all pretty straightforward and were easy to do with a written guide on TA. I definitely recommend it to anyone who enjoys platformers, and it really made me want to check out more of Compulsion games. In my latest Xbox 360 haul, I managed to find a copy of Cars 2 which I had 50 Gamerscore from 2012. Since I had a good time with Cars 3 last year, I thought I may as well check this one out and see if I would be down to complete the list. I've never been a racing type of guy, but I'll always be down to play some arcade racing, and I'm happy that Cars 2 felt like one. The achievements weren't too bad to get, and the races were fun enough to keep my attention for the day that it took me to finish. I think the only thing that was boring to do was having to boost the multiplayer achievements, but like I said, they were pretty quick to get since it's an 8 to 10 hours completion. I still hope to find Cars 1 in a while so I can complete that one for another 360 completion. As a big fan of the Far Cry series, I was really happy to have the chance to go back to Blood Dragon. The difference this time was that I could grab the full 1000 Gamerscore instead of the 400 Gamerscore they offered on their 360 arcade. The achievements were the exact same, so I knew exactly what to do and where to go, and it was still a really fun experience. The only thing I was disappointed in is how they called the game the Classic Edition, but barely nothing changed. I was expecting some kind of graphical upgrade or maybe a 60 FPS mode, but nah. Just the same old 360 type of graphics, but it was still cool since the game is made to look old school. I'm glad to have another Far Cry completion in my pocket, and if you can grab it for cheap, I'd still recommend you get it on sale for a good time. At the beginning of the month, I was in the mood for some easy points, so I decided to replay the Batman Telltale game but for the 360 and the Minecraft story mode as well. I found out that I owned the wrong disc for Minecraft since the episodes are not available to download on the store, even with the season pass. After looking around on Google, I learned that to play the episodes, I actually need a copy of the Complete Adventure Edition, which I'm planning to hunt down. I did get the full 1000G for Batman, which brings me to a total of 1200 Gamerscore for 2 more 360 completions. I love the Batman story, and I enjoyed going back to it after completing it on Xbox One last year. Alright, this game has been in my backlog for quite a while now. I remember watching one of my friends stream this game and I thought it looked really cool and I wanted to check it out for myself. I'm glad that I waited because I found out like an hour in that the game offers a 60 FPS mode and it felt way smoother than the 30 version. I grew up playing platformers and it's always a pleasure to find a good one and to complete all the achievements in it. Last year I completed the Spyro Trilogy and New Super Lucky Tales, which I thought were great games, and I was dying to find a new one to play this year. I thought the game looked gorgeous and I love looking everywhere around me to find all those tiny details that were hidden around. The variety of the levels were a welcome sight and the collectibles were actually fun to go for. And that's a lot coming from me, since you guys know that I despise collectibles. The only thing that pissed me off in this game was how horrible the camera was and took me quite some time to get used to it. The achievements were pretty cool to go for, except one that took me some time to get, which requires you to beat any boss without getting hit. I always hated those kind of achievements because they just stressed me out, and I managed to get it after a couple of attempts and it felt so good to get. The game offers 2 separate DLCs for an extra 500 Gamerscore, and I'm definitely planning to do so later, so don't be surprised if you see more of a added time in my videos. Submerge is another game that's been in my backlog for a while due to the easy Gamerscore and because of the great things I heard about it. After seeing some gameplay of Submerge hitting depths, I decided to finally give it a go, and I'm glad I did. It was another of those great games to come from work too, since it was so relaxing and chill to play. The game is all about exploring and there's no worrying about death or anything. Just visit the buildings on your boat and pick up the collectibles on the way to figure out more about the story of the game. I'm glad they're making a second one, and I'll definitely check it out for another 1000G. A Tale of Two Sons is another one of those games that came from the 360 arcade era and made its way on the Xbox One with 1000 Gamerscore. It was my first time playing it, and I thought the idea of having to control both brothers was a pretty cool idea. It was a little bit confusing at first, but I eventually got used to it. The list was pretty straightforward and the story was pretty cool to follow as well. I used the guide to make sure I didn't miss any achievements like paint a sheep black or just sit on a certain bench, and the game took me about 3 hours to complete. I enjoyed my time with it, and I'm not against the idea of completing the 360 version for another 400 points. With Elden Ring releasing on February 25th, I wanted to get as much Gamerscore as I could because I knew I was going to play it non-stop without getting much progress for March. I've been stacking up all my title updates and baby games, and I decided to get them all before the end of February, and here's the list of all I managed to get. I usually always try to get at least 2 big months of Gamerscore a year, and I'm happy with the result of this month. Other than that, I did play some games that I didn't complete yet, like Spider-Man Edge of Time, which I had a great time with. It was my first Spider-Man game on Xbox, and I personally got all the achievements I wanted to get in it. I might come back to it another time to clean it up, but I'm happy with what I got simply because I don't want to spend too much time with all the difficult stuff like get the gold medals and all challenges. If we add everything together, I managed to grab a big total of 51,290 Gamerscore this month, with 18 new completion, which boosts the stats of this year by a lot. Now you're probably wondering, why did I stop at 499k Gamerscore and 299 completion if I was so close? I had the idea of pulling up a poll on my Twitter and ask if I should get my 500,000 Gamerscore with the Elden Ring completion, which I thought would be pretty cool and make the milestone one to remember. Of course, people wanted to see me suffer, so it passed with flying colors. So for the month of March, I will be working on Elden Ring so it can be the game I hit 500k Gamerscore and completion number 300. Alright, that's going to be it for this month. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're still enjoying those update videos, make sure to give me a thumbs up and to subscribe if you're not already. I'll see you guys in the next one for an Elden Ring filled episode. Keep on gaming.